One, two. I'm back with another reaction video, man. Hey, I got Fern on the screen, man. Hey, this video is about the $1 billion Coke machine. If you know, he's talking about the those machines that like just randomly just appear at the side of every fast food restaurant where you can just like pick what you want. Hey, he's finna talk about that. See what that really hitting on, man. Make sure y'all like, come subscribe, hit the noti bell. Let's get
About
into
to
it, man.
watch yet another sequel to a forgotten franchise nobody asked for. You're getting popcorn and a drink to drown out your Jared Leto-induced sorrow with a sugar rush. You pay and they hand you a cup. Then you see it, glowing red and chrome, the Coca-Cola Freestyle Fountain.
Yep.
Here, you can choose between over 100 different flavors. Cherry Vanilla Coke, Peach Sprite. Maybe you'll go crazy and mix Fanta with Powerade.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just pick a classic. But this machine is way more than just a soda fountain.
This little ass shit got 100 different. I just thought about that. How does this little machine have 100 different flavors? Well, never mind. This is all connected to it. Never mind. I'm acting like I don't know how. I'm stupid. So I just connected to some wires in the back that are connected to some bags that are in boxes. Never mind. I don't know why I made that seem deeper than what it was. It's not just serving you a drink.
It tracks everything you do. And while you're picking your favorite flavor, it's quietly collecting data. Data that turns customers into test subjects. Data that Coke will profit from tremendously. The Coca-Cola Company is said to have invested more than $1 billion in this machine, but they're very likely turning its capabilities into much, much bigger savings and profits. Today, we're diving into how a drink dispenser became a global lab and what role you play in all of this.
A lab?
The Coca-Cola Company is one of the biggest beverage producers on the planet.
Right.
The conglomerate controls almost half of the global soda market, making billions in revenue every year. And one important way that...
Damn. 47 billion?
They sold their many drinks has long been soda fountains. In the olden days, ordering a soft drink would work like this. You'd walk up to the counter, place your order, and someone would pour your drink into a cup.
And then mix
that. Self-service fountains arrived. Now you could fill your own at your own discretion. When you were a kid, this fountain was everything.
Right?
You could mix yourself something.
Hey, I could freestyle that joint. You can go Powerade with a little Sprite. I wasn't the biggest fan of Fanta, but hey, that bit there if you want it.
Truly undrinkable.
That's disgusting, bro. I don't see why would you do that. That is disgusting. That's like piss in a bottle, bro.
However, in 2006, Coca-Cola and other beverage makers noticed something worrying. For the first time since 1985, the sales volume of carbonated beverages had declined. People started to focus more on their health and well-being. They were increasingly looking for...
You should do that. Your body loves that. You know what I'm saying?
For sugar-free drinks and low-calorie options. But Coke's fountains just weren't ready for that. At that time, only about 1% of all Coke fountains in the US even offered Diet Coke. Meanwhile, the choice of sodas at convenience stores had increased dramatically. Rows and rows packed with hundreds of bottles and cans. But Coke fountains were stuck with the same limited run-up of kind of boring standard flavors. So they had to come up with an idea that would change everything. The Freestyle Fountains design.
You know the fountains I hate? You just walk inside and it's all Pepsi products. That's like a letdown. Why I walk inside your establishment and I see Pepsi products? Like, who told you I wanted Pepsi and Sierra Mist and whatever your combinations of drinks are like? Who said I wanted that shit? That shit not cool. Just get some Coca-Cola, bro. Like, the majority would love that.
Is interesting. The red, the chrome, the sculpted lines. It kind of looks like it wants to become a Ferrari when it grows up. And that's not a coincidence. It was developed with Pininfarina, the legendary Italian design house that shaped the curves of Ferrari itself. You slide your cup under the dispenser. Now comes the fun part. You see dozens of bubbles on the screen in front of you. Each bubble is labeled with a different drink. Mezzomix, Coca-Cola, Powerade, Lift, Fused Tea, and Kinley.
That's the definition of doing what you please. I don't know none of those other flavors I just seen. Mezzo mix. What is that?
Mezzo Mix, Coca-Cola,
Okay.
Powerade, Lift,
Lift? What type of drink is that? What that's supposed to do, cuz?
Fuse Tea,
Fuse tea? Excuse me?
and Kinley.
Kinley? Okay.
In total, you could choose over
I've
100
never heard of
drinks.
that nor seen that
Back when
till
you were a
now, but
kid,
okay.
This would have been impossible. Restaurants used massive 19-liter syrup canisters
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
for every single drink option.
That's what I was talking about. So how
Nowadays,
does
all
that
these
work for
flavors
that?
fit into just about 30 tiny cartridges.
What the fuck? How?
The cartridge design is inspired by medical tech, where precise dosing is critical. Just as insulin pumps deliver exact amounts of medication almost drop by drop, the Freestyle system carefully meters syrup and carbonated water for each pour.
Okay.
In theory, every pour
I thought it was 100 bags in the back on a shelf with a box and that's Sprite. That's not how I thought. That's not how these things work at all.
is perfectly measured, drop by drop, turning your drink into a precise masterpiece.
That is
But Coke
crazy.
from a Freestyle fountain actually tends to taste a little different from the one you buy in the supermarket.
Right. It
In
always
contrast to
does.
the old canister
Because that's been inside of metal the whole time, and then like one that's been sitting inside of like plastic the whole time. Yeah, of course they're gonna all have different taste, and you know, they're all been sitting inside of something different the whole time.
systems that premix syrup and sweetener. Freestyle keeps flavors, sweeteners, and carbonated water separate.
Right. So
Now,
they just
when you press the
all
button,
go
the
as
flavor,
in
sugar, and
as in
carbonated
one. Like
water are combined on demand. This can make your Coke taste slightly different from other preparations.
that's realistically that's pure Coke. You know what I'm saying? Like say you get Sprite from this dispenser, that's pure Sprite. That's say you go to McDonald's and do that too. Boy, that's battery acid for real, if we being completely honest.
Staring at the bubbly screen, curiosity kicks in.
Hey,
You
then
can't-
you got options. You got options, P.
For your usual, but you gotta admit, some options here are tempting.
Yup.
You tap the Powerade bubble, and suddenly
Peach Fanta. That shit, the one. If you ever like, if you ever try that shit for your first time, you be like, that's a different hit. Oh, and blueberry
a whole lineup
Fanta.
appears. Powerade raspberry, Powerade lemon,
I didn't even
Powerade
know they had a
strawberry.
raspberry.
So many
palette.
choices. Which one to pick? You even mix a drink that doesn't exist before.
Alright,
You could create
just
your own
making
secret
shit.
flavor.
You just
And won't
trying
that
it. You
make
just
you
trying
special?
shit. I'm telling you.
Augment Code just outperformed 6 of the top AI code review tools on a public benchmark.
Right.
The Freestyle fountain is fun. It lets you explore. It bewilders. It sparks curiosity. It might even provoke play. And that's exactly the point. Coca-Cola doesn't just want to sell you a beverage. It wants you to feel something. This technique is called experience marketing. Right here in front of this machine, you're not just choosing a flavor. You're interacting with the brand. You are literally experiencing it. Every
Yeah.
tap, every bubble, every choice pulls you deeper into the Coca-Cola universe. And that matters, because moments like this make you remember Coke, not just as a drink, but as a feeling. And ideally, it wants you to go home and tell your friends about that insane machine that lets you mix your own Coke and offers that amazing weird new flavor they so gotta try. And Freestyle isn't the only example for Coke's experience marketing.
Talk to me.
Think about Share a Coke. Different campaign, same idea. And it's all
Oh
part
yeah,
of
was there
Coca-Cola's
all the
bigger
different
plan,
names?
shifting from being just a product brand to an experience brand.
I've never seen my name.
Anyways, you ultimately go for a
my
Sprite.
name is not even like just a crazy name. My name is Kelvin, so it's like, and I've never seen. I've always seen Kevin, or like, I've seen a Calvin, but I've never seen Kelvin on there.
You didn't even know Sprite Cherry existed.
But I feel like that's
Time to
like
give it
not
a
a
shot.
common name, but a simple
You press
name.
the pour button, then you take a sip.
Then you just be like, ooh, that's different.
Not half bad. You're not the only one who was curious about Sprite Cherry. All over the
Mhm.
world, people have made the exact same choice. Obviously, Coca-Cola didn't offer you this new flavor just for fun. The
You can do it off of the phone? Excuse me? Why do I have the ability to? Oh, it was just a QR code up there.
Freestyle ecosystem is basically a giant testing lab. Every pour, every mix, every flavor you try feeds into a massive experiment, a sampling program on a global scale. And with this particular new flavor,
So we've been making their flavors this whole time. This whole time. So this machine, we've been making their new flavors this whole time. Half the flavors. So like half the you telling me half the flavors that done came out are stuff we've all made. That's crazy to think about.
the experiment actually worked. But this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Cause that's basically what I'm hearing.
When Coca-Cola launched the Freestyle in 2009, they packed it with cutting-edge technology.
Damn, it's been around since
Reliable wireless
09?
networks like the ones we have today weren't exactly standard, so Coca-Cola built their own.
That's been around since 09? Damn. I thought it. I don't know when I seen. I don't feel like my first time seeing that was in 09 though. Cause I was 6. I don't feel like I remember seeing that then. But then again, who's to say when it's my first time I seen that? I was a little nigga, so ain't no telling when.
The network they created links every Freestyle machine directly to Coca-Cola's back-end systems, which are managed through SAP software. Think of it as the company's brain. It keeps track of everything happening across all departments in real time. Every single day, over 50,000 Freestyle machines send data back to this brain. They report everything that's going on inside them, which flavors are being poured, what time of day they are consumed, or how much syrup is left.
Right.
You might not experiment with your drink choices, but many other people do. That is how Coca-Cola discovered that people really like Coke Orange Vanilla, Sprite Cherry, Sprite Strawberry, and Coke Cherry Vanilla.
Cause it's stuff
Some of
that
these
we done
flavors started
created
user
just in
creations,
this
combinations
type
people
of
kept
shit.
mixing
Just
again
like,
and
oh,
again
let me
at
get
the
a little
Freestyle
bit of
machine. Others, like
little
Coke Orange
cherry
Vanilla,
juice.
were developed by Coca-Cola.
had a
The more
little
people got
Sprite
these,
to go
the
with
stronger
it.
the signal became, and what started as a tiny bubble on screen ultimately moved into full production.
Feel me?
Sure, you could argue the company might
That's
have
all
released these
stuff we done
flavors
made.
eventually either way.
Just
but
on
with
the
Freestyle,
random.
those decisions happen faster
Not
than
me,
before.
not me
be
personally, but
credited
in
to
general,
better
people
data.
done made those.
But there's more. Before Freestyle, staff had to manually check those giant syrup canisters. They probably used inventory sheets, maybe did a bit of guesswork, and called or emailed Coca-Cola to reorder. Freestyle completely transformed fountain logistics. Every night, the system collects data from this exact machine and figures out how many units of each cartridge needs to be delivered to the cinema.
That's interesting.
And it's not just
That's
based on
interesting
what you
numbers.
and your friends poured yesterday. Algorithms predict demand and even factor in planned promotions for specific beverages.
I cannot believe Waves is giving away this plugin for free. This is way too good to be free. And by the way, it's only free for 48 hours, so you better grab it quick.
The system calculates which cartridges need refilling and automatically creates the restocking orders. Those orders are sent straight to the distribution center, and from there, the cartridges are shipped directly to the fountain locations. Every Freestyle machine on the planet is quietly syncing. Think about how smart this is. With Freestyle, Coca-Cola can optimize their entire fountain supply chain, streamline inventory management, make restocks more efficient, and even improve their production schedule. It's probably safe to assume that this alone saves the company millions and millions of dollars along the way. If even Coca-Cola is tracking your data in real life, you won't be surprised to learn that your data is exposed everywhere, and there's nowhere to
Right.
hide. Every click, search, and
Everything
form
you
fill
look up
reveals
is
tiny
being
pieces of who you are.
exposed to.
That you had to look up how to spell bourgeois 6 or 7 times for your online comment, or
Somebody
that you
can't
don't
see that
understand the
shit.
6-7 meme, or that you enjoy mixing Sprite and Fanta. Disgusting animal. With data breaches rising every year, your personal information is at risk. Shady data brokers sell it, scammers use it, and even steal your identity. Not that anybody would want your particular identity, but, theoretically. If they did, they could take out fraudulent loans, open accounts in your name, and cause serious legal and financial headaches. This is where
That
Incogni
is all
comes in.
possible.
It tracks down your personal data across
But get
hundreds
this
of
ad out of my
Get
face,
60%
bro.
off
That's not
with
gonna
a
help me.
the date, campaign, or change content. It required a full software update, during which the machine couldn't pour a single drink. Not exactly ideal, considering many fountains are located in high-traffic fast food chains. So in the mid-2010s, Coca-Cola integrated AirWatch, a modern device management platform. Now, instead of sending out a massive software update whenever marketers want to roll out a campaign, they could push tiny data packages.
Okay.
While receiving the configurations, the machines most likely stay fully operational. They simply download and
Or just
display
simple
the new
updates
content,
they can
like
just
this
make.
Halloween special.
That is
What happens next is called nudging. Like this Halloween special.
See, like, I don't go inside of too many restaurants and sit down, and not restaurants, but in fast food restaurants and eat. So I don't see this too often because this is kind of new to me. I don't see that they update these things like this. It's not just how it used to be when I first started seeing these hoes. That's interesting.
What happens next is called nudging. A new flavor might be the first bubble you see, or a short teaser video might just catch your
Mhm.
eye. You're still free to pick whatever you want, but those gentle nudges make you more likely
If you
to
like, try
experiment.
this joint instead.
Thousands of individual recorded choices to try some bizarre Halloween flavor, all feeding directly into Coca-Cola's product development. But wait a minute. This little black dot up there, is that a
That's a
camera?
camera.
Is
I
this
don't.
thing recording you?
Okay, that's ugly.
Well,
I
Coca-Cola did
ain't
plan to install a camera in one of their freestyle
Never noticed that
models.
was there.
They even included it in their spec sheet and described it with the words, future capability for motion sensing and facial recognition.
What the?
This way, the company
what
could
were
have
you
tracked every
planning to
smile
cook
when
with
you
that?
mix flavors, every frown when it doesn't taste right after a little test sip,
Is it
literally
like,
observing
okay.
which combos make you happy or annoyed. Every reaction is data. But
Uh-huh.
could they really pull this off? At least in theory. In Europe, for example, strict data protection laws such as general data protection regulations would likely not allow this to happen.
Mm.
In the US, however, businesses and event venues are
You're
increasingly
allowed to
experimenting
record.
with facial analysis and recognition technology in
In
public
some
spaces.
type of way.
So hypothetically, it might be feasible there. According to Fortune, in early 2024, AI company Quantify referenced a facial recognition project tied to freestyle. In a now removed entry on their website, it reportedly said, each vending machine comes with a camera installed, in which an image is captured for every customer interacting with the
Mhm.
machine. Coca-Cola's marketing team aspired to use these images to generate insights on consumer preferences and usage patterns. Reportedly, Quantify built a machine learning model to detect customer demographics. Basically, the Coca-Cola company could know you're a guy in your 20s, standing here grabbing that Sprite cherry. After Fortune asked questions, the post seemingly vanished. A spokesperson for Coca-Cola said cameras in freestyle fountains were just tested in a laboratory setting from 2018 to 2019. When we asked Coca-Cola about this, they did not respond. The creepy camera hole aside, the technology is pretty impressive. A single
I mean,
globally
is it
deployed
really creepy though? Because it's just like, sorry, camera inside the store, so it's just like, why is that? I see how it can, but I don't know.
machine expanding flavor variety, strategically pushing experience marketing, enabling hyper-detailed flavor testing, micro-campaigning, and optimization of the supply chain. You probably stood in front of one of those before and never even had a clue.
Didn't
But
even
there's
know it
this
was there.
one
Oh,
central
God.
question we just couldn't shake. Just how much are they saving and making with this? In order to find out, we went down a rabbit hole, annual reports, analytics, figures, and company filings, only to realize there is no concrete data.
I feel
Sure,
like
we found a few clues here and there, but we could barely make anything useful out of it, especially because
No,
gains from
'cause,
freestyle
that's the
are tangled
problem
up with
with
other
freestyle
projects. When we reached out to Coca-Cola for comment, they didn't respond, so we had to call in backup. Enter Yannick, the team's spreadsheet wizard. He dove into everything we could find out about freestyle and started making sense of it. His analysis is split into 3 parts. First, Cola's assumed revenue from freestyle machines. To get a rough baseline, we looked at something similar, loyalty programs like Payback. Payback usually returns an estimated 0.5 to 3% of your spending. Sounds like a
Okay.
bad deal for them, but here's the thing, it works. Because when people get a little something in return, they tend to spend even more. And while they do, Payback collects tons of data, or what they buy, when they buy, and where they buy. You can't fully compare Payback to Coke Freestyle, but both follow the same idea. Encourage people to buy, and learn as much as possible while they do. The data collected through loyalty programs like Payback enables targeted marketing and personalized offers, helping deliver messages that are relevant to individual consumers. Studies like this one show that loyalty programs can improve gross margins by 2 to 4%, not simply because people buy more, but because companies can make smarter, data-driven marketing and product decisions. Using that logic, we can conservatively assume a 2% margin on revenue for freestyle. This is a very rough estimate, but enough to get a sense of
Not gonna lie, Fern is low key nerding out. I don't know what he. Hold on. Loki started nerding
marketing
out.
and product decisions. Using that logic, we can conservatively assume a 2% margin on revenue for freestyle. This is a very rough estimate, but enough to get a sense of scale. According to one source, Coke Freestyle machines dispense around 4 billion drinks per year. Assuming an
Damn,
average
for
of
real?
$2 per drink and a 2% margin, that adds up to roughly $160 million in yearly gains, well over $1 billion since Freestyle's inception. Second, the value
And then they're all over the place. They're all over the U.S. Holy shit.
data. Back in 2015, Coca-Cola teamed up with Hivery, a company focusing on AI-driven optimization. Their mission was to optimize vending machine sales. One of Hivery's clients was Reyes Coca-Cola Bottling Co., a U.S. bottler with roughly 19,000 vending machines in hospitals across California and Nevada. Hivery's software combined sales data with machine learning and some algorithms to predict demand for every beverage and every machine. Reportedly, Reyes saw a 6% sales increase and a 15% reduction in restocking trips. These numbers suggest that data-driven supply chain management can generate significant sales boosts and cost savings. It is reasonable to assume that Freestyle fountains could yield similar results. Third, new flavors. Some of the new
Hey,
flavors
this is like-
Coca-Cola launched based on their
got
freestyle
that
testing
machine, you
turned
just
out
got
about as
fucking
popular
flavors
as the
now.
deeply disappointing and unwanted sequel you're going to endure in a few minutes. Take Coke Cherry Vanilla, for example. Even though it was one of the most beloved freestyle combos, Coca-Cola decided to not produce any more in 2024 due to
Damn,
declining
wow.
demand. Freestyle may help spot promising new flavors, but it doesn't seem to be foolproof. Out of 4 flavors brought to the market, 2 did not survive. This doesn't necessarily mean they were bad investments, just that they weren't long-term hits. Coca-Cola may have overestimated
delete
how
flavors if they
representative
don't do
freestyle
well?
users are for the
What?
broader
It's just
market.
like-
Again, our request for comment went unanswered. While Coca-Cola rarely publishes concrete sales data for specific products, we found a number for one of their newer non-freestyle Sprite products that shows the potential of this market. Sprite Chill generated $50 million in sales in
actually
its
pretty
first
good.
21 weeks in the North American market. Again, it's hard to estimate the total profit the company may have made through new flavors that started on freestyle, and how important the found data was for their success. But looking at all 3 aspects of Yannick's analysis, one thing is relatively safe to assume. The $1 billion Coca-Cola reportedly invested into these machines has long been made back.
That was a pretty good video. Oh, I need to watch that later. Hey though, man. Hey, if y'all like this type of content, like, comment, subscribe, hit the nutty bell. Hey, finna get out of this joint, man. Peace.